Overall, Godzilla vs. Megalon was a flop, with many people considering it campy and cheap. But Tomoyuki Tanaka decided that he wanted to do another one. This movie would have a budget of $1.2 million, the same as Godzilla vs. Megalon, although as we can tell it looks a lot more expensive. Jun Fukuda would direct this movie, making it the third time in a row he would direct a Godzilla movie. The writer from Godzilla vs. Megalon, Shinichi Sekizawa, would be brought back to create the story for this movie. Masaru Sato would create an amazing musical score, making this my second favorite of his from the Showa era. My first being Son of Godzilla. Just don't judge me. He did good.
Why are you the way that you are?
They would reuse the Meguro Goji suit from 1973, but give the head a more serious look. Aren't we lucky that they got rid of the goofy, more kid-friendly Godzilla of 1973? The movie begins as we see Anguirus roaming around some sort of island, and then a volcanic eruption occurs. Something that I thought about this scene is that this may be the now deserted monster island that we saw get exposed to nuclear testing back in Godzilla vs. Megalon. After the overly long credits, which was an immediate fast forward, we get to see some sort of ceremony occur. But then the woman performing in the ceremony stops and starts to have visions of King Ghidorah. Throughout the Godzilla franchise, Mechagodzilla always seems to somehow be related to King Ghidorah. For example, in the Showa era is the scene that I just explained. In the Heisei era, they used parts from Mecha King Ghidorah to create Mechagodzilla. And in the Monsterverse, they used King Ghidorah's skull to help control Mechagodzilla. Anyway, back to the movie. We then see our main characters exploring in a cave, and then they discover what we later find out is space titanium. They also have an encounter with a small Caesar statue. Both of those things are important to the story. Not really caring who this statue belongs to, they take it with them. But little do they know that this statue belongs to the Izumi family, protected by a guardian monster named King Caesar. Our main characters start to get stalked by someone who literally looks like Japan's version of the Terminator in those shades. And really, until about the end of the movie, we're not really sure which side this man's on. There are some fight scenes throughout the movie that I'm pretty sure were just to boost the red tide, but they're actually pretty hilarious. Yeah, eat pillow, man. And almost 19 minutes into the film, and we finally get to see Godzilla.
He's back!
But is this the real Godzilla? We see him destroying buildings, which is really something we haven't seen since Ghidorah the three-headed monster. And besides, he even has a different roar than usual. But as Godzilla continues his destructive march, he encounters his friend Anguirus, who begins to attack him. Godzilla and Anguirus battle for a while, but then Anguirus reveals a piece of space titanium under Godzilla's skin. After the piece of space titanium is revealed, they use the promotional Godzilla suit to portray what we now know as fake Godzilla. I have a problem with this. Why didn't they just use the promotional Godzilla suit for the scene when fake Godzilla attacks? That would make more sense. After Anguirus reveals part of fake Godzilla's skin, fake Godzilla just goes full steam ahead and demolishes Anguirus in about 5 seconds. Fake Godzilla begins to rip open Anguirus' jaw, and the blood they use in this scene just looks so thick and unbelievable. I just don't like it. The next time we see fake Godzilla, he's destroying Tokyo, and our main characters are very confused on why Godzilla's doing all these unusual things. But we would soon get an explanation for this because the real Godzilla crashes through the roof of a building. I'm not quite sure how Godzilla would fit inside a small building like that, but we'll just let it slide. The pyrotechnics in this scene and the rest of the movie are stunning. The only problem with this scene is that you can see Godzilla's shadow, making it obvious that there's a matte painting. We soon find out that the controllers behind this fake Godzilla are the Black Hole Planet 3 aliens, which use human disguises to blend in. Godzilla and fake Godzilla duke it out for a while, but then Godzilla reveals some of fake Godzilla's space titanium. Fake Godzilla realizes that there's no use of hiding anymore and reveals himself to be Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla's roar comes from a modified Godzilla roar, which I guess makes a lot of sense. But I never really liked Mechagodzilla's roar and thought it needed to sound more robotic, which the more modern Mechagodzillas did nicely. After Mechagodzilla truly appears for the first time, he starts to beat up Godzilla like it's nothing. Even though Mechagodzilla won the battle, he is still brutally damaged, so he needs to return back to base for repairs. The Black Hole Planet 3 aliens capture our main characters and say that they need a human scientist to help fix Mechagodzilla. This of course means calling upon Professor Hideto Miyajima. Not quite sure why an advanced alien race would need help from a single human professor, but we'll just let that slide as well. But once the professor is done fixing Mechagodzilla, the Black Hole Planet 3 aliens throw him in with his daughter and some other random dude in a room where they attempt to burn them alive. Remember that guy that I mentioned earlier that looks like Japanese Terminator? Well, it turns out that he's a good guy and he's helping our main characters defeat the aliens. Once our main characters escape, they use the trick of making the car look like it's being driven by them, but then being in a totally different spot when it's destroyed by the aliens. This is an idea that they actually brought back from Godzilla vs. Gigan, and I'm sure I'm the only nerd out there who actually picked up on that. Our main characters then put the Caesar statue where it'll be directly hit by sunlight, and then King Caesar is revealed. Nami, one of the members of the Izumi royal family, must sing some sort of prayer to awake King Caesar. And it turns out that the aliens aren't big fans of King Caesar because they sent Mechagodzilla over to destroy him. I really love this shot right here of Mechagodzilla in the distance. It just makes you really feel scared for King Caesar. After about a 3-minute wake-up song by Nami, finally, King Caesar wakes up, and boy is it awesome. Even though King Caesar's roar is just an altered King Kong one, it's still awesome and is one of my favorites of the Showa era. Surprisingly enough, King Caesar is actually a pretty fair match for Mechagodzilla, but not for long because Mechagodzilla quickly gains the upper hand. There are some weird parts throughout this battle, including King Caesar trying to eat Mechagodzilla's fingers. And guess who just so happens to be rising out of the ocean? That's right, Godzilla's back.
He's back!
I'm sorry, I'll just stop. Godzilla quickly starts to fight Mechagodzilla, and since King Caesar is sitting on his lazy butt watching from a pit, Godzilla must fight him by himself. Somehow, the humans manage to get captured by the aliens again, and throughout the battle they're trying to escape. King Caesar finally joins the battle, but it doesn't do much help because Mechagodzilla quickly demolishes both of them. This would be the second time we would see Godzilla bleed, the first being Godzilla vs. Gigan, and in this movie, boy, he bleeds a lot. But with the help of his new magnetic force ability, and King Caesar of course, Godzilla is finally able to defeat Mechagodzilla. Not only this, but the humans also manage to escape from the aliens and they kill them in a rather gruesome way. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla was welcomed to mostly positive reviews and today is considered a success. And my thoughts on this movie? I thought it was a well-paced monster movie with Godzilla and the two new monsters, King Caesar and Mechagodzilla, both having a good share of screen time. Mechagodzilla was a success as well and quickly became a staple of the Godzilla franchise. Tomoyuki Tanaka took notice of this and decided a sequel had to be made. Next, I do my review on the last Godzilla movie of the Showa era. Stay tuned for my review of 1975's Terror of Mechagodzilla.